let me know. Hi everyone, welcome to Freaks Who Speak Toastmasters Club. Are you ready to do community service? Many times people associate the word with punishment, but is it really? Who here seeks a job that would fulfill you? Raise your hands if giving and serving a cause you believe in fulfills you. Excellent. Does freedom to be yourself fulfill you? I want to tell you a little bit about myself and why I start off with these questions. So I entitled my speech Camazotz. For those of you who don't know, Camazotz is a city in A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, and the movie is actually coming out soon, or next year or sometime soon. And I came from Camazotz. I came from the Washington, D.C. area. There used to be a lot of goths. I grew up with many goths. We had many in my high school. All of my friends were goths. And there was a real vibrance there. However, over the years, all the people who grew up in DC decided to move away. And all the people who decided to move in were not goths. So eventually, I ended up being the only goth in the entire city. Or actually in the entire tri-state area. So I tried to do that for a long time because that's where I worked and that's where I could pay the bills. But at some point you have to say enough is enough, and that's why I decided to move to Denver, where there are many more goths. There are so many that I can't even remember everyone's name. So that's an excellent thing. When you claim your gothness, you have a moral and ethical obligation to be a representative of all goths and to serve all goths. The way to best serve other goths is to be your absolute best authentic self. When you are yourself, you give license and permission to others to be themselves. In that way, you make them, quote unquote, licensed goths because they're licensed to be themselves. And you're paying it forward, making it easier for another goth to feel safe, loved, and appreciated in this world. Since ours is an underserved community, we must take particular care to keep the community healthy and alive. Think of your unique talents and abilities and consider ways that you can also give to the community. And I don't like to say give back since you didn't take anything. When you have come up with your list, narrow it down. What will best serve all dimensions of a goth or a similar person in a similar subculture? So when I was thinking about this, I thought about what is the best way that I can serve goths, and is it something that is something I can believe in, but is a challenge. And Toastmasters was the thing that I came up with, because Toastmasters helps people with job skills, and one thing that goths struggle with is the interview process, because people will judge you right out the bat with how you wear your hair and how you do your nails, or if you wear a skirt or don't wear a skirt, or just everything. There are always reasons for them to say, oh, you don't fit the culture here. So I thought that Toastmasters was a great way to help goths because it helps with interview skills, it helps with job skills, it helps you be a leader, and it also is something that you can add to your resume. I also would like to add that the highest paid profession in is public speaking.
Oh.
Yeah, and because public speaking is also the best form of advertising, and what makes a company money is advertising. So if you can promote yourself, you can promote anything. And you can also get paid well doing it. However, the number one fear is also public speaking, followed by death as the number two fear. Now, since we're all goths are not as afraid of death perhaps as other normies. But we still might have an issue with public speaking. But that's where Toastmasters comes in. Toastmasters starts off with the Competent Communicator Manual. It's got 10 different projects in it, and you can talk about anything you want. You can even talk about controversial topics, you can talk about politics, you can talk about religion, you can talk about I don't know if people feel comfortable talking about sex, but I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything you want to talk about, because we're goths and we talk about things that are maybe different from other people. And then there's also the leadership manual. This is an old one. This is mine. And it also has 10 projects. And you can actually start filling this out just with the simple roles that we do in a regular meeting. So it's pretty easy. And you can work your way up, and there are different levels where you can keep increasing your skills. And lots of times people end up actually becoming Toastmasters junkies because they love moving up. And they get a thrill from the achievement.
Okay.
Just going over the logistical things and avoiding the music. Just wanted to go over the price breakdown because we're going to have to talk about that eventually. So I already paid the charter fee, which is $125. However, all I'm asking for back is $525 one-time fee if people want to join. The international and club dues are $45 for international starting in October. I'm not going to ask you to pay in September because it actually is a prorated thing and it would be more expensive. So you don't have to pay until October. And then the club dues would be $575 for 6 months. I was doing that to account for the room use. We might change the room use, so that could go down or it could go up depending on where we decide to move to. Other potential costs are $20 for a one-time new member fee, and that just pays for the manual. If you're already in Toastmasters, you might already have a manual, so you don't need to pay for it. So the total is $76, I think. That's what I came up with.
Say it again.
76.
Okay.
If money is tight, we can do a payment plan of $20 and $45, then $11 to cover different parts of the thing. So also international dues is so basically there are 2 things that you just need to pay to me, and then there are 2 things that go to the international. So the international dues, of course, goes to international. And then